A group of us met here on the back porch of the Charleston Yacht Club. 4 people. One will remain unnamed, and Brian Swan, myself, and Rick Moore. And wrote some ideas on a napkin, and Charleston Race Week, the idea was formed. It used to be actually more than a week long. It was over 10 days. I think it'd be great racing right off the battery there. We should get the same kind of breeze. I think there'll be a little bit more local knowledge because the current's a little bit different there than what everyone's used to be racing in Race Week. We have a great group of J24 fleet people racing this time, including Tim Healy, world champ, and Chip Till, district champ, Ryan Hamm, past district champ, and 15 to 20 more of them, and that's probably the biggest fleet of local boats. I think we're going to have 6 or 7 local J24s, which I think is great. It's a good fleet for Charleston. I didn't find it to be a problem. They've checked it out, and they've gone through it, and they've gone through a motorboat and sailboat, and it seems like I said, I don't do any offshore sailing, and you know, I'm really into inshore now, and but I like the idea of going out right through there and being already at a course, and I think it's going to be kind of protected. I think it's, depending on the wind direction, some of the courses will feel like you're sailing inshore anyway. Right now, I feel like we're having another, you know, revolution of kids coming out sailing. Yeah, the Charleston Community Sailing's really been instrumental in getting the high school program going, and Jessica Koenig runs that. She's done great with it, and there are now like 9 local high school teams, and each year the teams seem to grow, and the sailing is getting better. We're starting to compete against the Florida guys better than we did in the past, and you know, they're always the one, you know, them and the California people are normally the top ones in the country, and so we need to do as well as we can here so we can compete against them. I may have one of my high school kids that sailed with me a few years ago and is now in college sailing with me, and I think that's great because in the past, most people in high school sailing got out with high school sailing, and that was the end. So there'll be some of that for sure. As far as high school kids that are still in high school, there's probably 4 or 5 kids out in Charleston that'll be there, and heck, hopefully some of the people that come in from out of town are high school kids too. I did go to the Sunfish Worlds in Italy last year. It was fantastic. I had the time of my life, and I did actually train. That's about the only regatta I've ever trained for, and lost about 20 pounds, which it's back, but sailed great, I thought. Got somewhere around the top 20 in the world. So, and I was in Italy, and you weren't. So it was a good trip. I'm sure it's my olive skin. No, I'm that Irish Catholic that shouldn't be out in the sun. So no Italian staying. So the history of rum for Charleston Race Week started with Pussers. Charles Tobias, owner of the Pussers Restaurants, was great to come in and help us get this thing started. We've always had a rum sponsor. Pussers was there for the first few years. Then, as we grew and became popular and everyone started coming to Charleston, we moved to Mount Gay. Everyone knows Mount Gay as the sailor's rum, right? That was great and wonderful, and it was great to have them. But, in my opinion, the end of the story is the Gosling's rums. Dark and Stormies, where our regatta now is pretty well known for that, and the parties over at the Harbor Hilton and the Dark and Stormies are probably 50% of the reason that people come back to our regatta every year, besides the fine sailing in Charleston Harbor. And cut.
Come on. Come get a little Southern.